Hello, good evening, and welcome to Garblag Games. We are here tonight to play a little bit of Blades in the Dark, and I'm not in charge, so I have zero responsibility. So poor Josh is going to take over and run everything, and I'm just going to sit back here and cause trouble. Josh, over to you.
Hello, welcome to probably my favorite role-playing game of all time. Only Blades and
Hello,
Darkness
good
is the name we're
evening,
going with.
and
Blades in the Dark. Thank you for everyone for joining last minute. These guys are great. Built their characters just before this game. We have new players, so we'll be going through all the rules as we play. But maybe time to introduce our characters and our wonderful players. So in any order at all. There's probably a way to do this, but I'm new to this.
Let's do it all at once. Start
Everyone at the same time. Maybe we'll start with Aaron.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Aaron, and I am playing Vincente Drago, better known as Dagger, the Dagger Isles Corsair turned Lurk in the city of Duskfall.
Great. Over to Simon.
Hi, I'm Simon. I'm playing Kill 'Em All, who's a cutter. Everyone else calls me Leon, but you know what I'm about.
Excellent. And let's go to Lewis.
Hello, I'm Lewis. I'm playing Timothy Kogan, an Zavrosi ex-military who otherwise goes by the name of Bracket and likes to make things go boom.
Excellent. And then we'll take Nye, please.
Okay, hi, I'm Nye. I'm playing Sid, who's a slide. I just realised how similar those two words sound, which is what you get when you randomly make a name up on the spot. I talk a lot. And my character is good at persuading people.
And finally, last but not least, Ben, please.
Hello. I am going to be playing Delano Petito, who believes himself to be the leader of this little group, insists that the group is called Petito's Independent Purveyors. Even if nobody else agrees with him, he will make it up and claim it so anyway. And he is a trader, an Akarosi trader of dubious origin, who is also known occasionally by the name of Young Dell.
Fantastic. So let's get right into it. Imagine, if you will, you're watching a crow from above, but it's an unusual crow because on its back is very delicately painted a blue eye with these wonderful little eyelashes. And this crow is circling in an ever-shrinking gyre over a coal factory and ironmongers, and the smoke is rising. And as the crow descends, you can see from the crow's point of view, there are 5 people, in fact, now outside being vigorously frisked by a lot of men in overalls, leaving soot on all of their fantastic finery and everything. We'll take off from Artyom, the leader of this crew, going, why do you have 2 boot knives to Leon? Surely 1 boot knife is enough boot knife.
I always travel with 2 boot knives. A lack of any other knives, you may say. I mean, let's face it. People tend not to bend down to my boots just in case I crack them on the head.
It's fair. And then meanwhile, he turns to Sid and he's like, "And you have no boot knife. This is disappointing for everyone involved."
Yeah.
All right. You passed test. And he takes like a sooty finger, and under each of your right eyes, he makes a little mark. A mark that you're clear. And he goes, come, you meet Basco. So he leads you along down through this coal factory. And this city is always dark, always really sooty and dark. And what strikes you about this place, how bright it is, because of all the open forges, and of course, the noise. There are just hundreds of hammers banging at any times, power hammers, things being sanded, all sorts of things falling over, and people screaming at each other, because that's the kind of thing you do in these situations. And you're brought up this really rickety iron staircase. And as you're coming up, the door bursts open, and a guy comes out clutching his hand, going, "Ah!" And he's followed by a man who's throwing fingers at him, going, "And take your worthless stealing fingers with you!" And he turns to Artyom and goes, "Artyom, you get this man off my sight before he bleeds to death. The last thing we need are the bloody Death Seeker crows. By 2 o'clock, in you come, gentlemen!" And the door is left swinging open.
I'll step in.
great.
I'll make myself as broad as I can.
Excellent. So you're greeted with like what is a foreman's office. It's got a very minimal aesthetic. There is not quite. It was at one point a couch, and now it is just like a piece of furniture. And there's a desk covered in papers, and you notice that there is a hatchet stuck into the surface of the desk, and a chair knocked over this side. And sitting behind the desk is the infamous Basil Baz, leader of the Lamp Blacks, the crew who run in this part of town. He's like, "Oh, please, I'm sorry you had to see that, lads, but you know, what can I say? I hate thieves. Come in, please have a seat."
Bad for business, bad for business. Hello, Bazo. Hello. How can I help you? What can we do for you today?
Well, Archie, you get the door. Thank you, Archie. And he's like, right, well, you're just the men I need. Because you're nobody. You're new in town, hey? Nobody can connect you to me. And that's what I need. That's what I need, boys. That's what I'm after. And he looks down and flicks the pinky finger that's left on his desk over into the corner. Don't mind that. Look, I don't know if you know this, but, you know, we're the only ironmongers in town. We're the leaders of Coleridge. We put food in front of families. And there's a gang here trying to stop that. He looks at Sid. They try to take the food out of the mouths of my children, Sid. I don't know your name. I don't know why I said Sid.
I just slam my fist on his desk. God damn them.
I like this guy. I like him. Excellent. So, I need a nobody. Can't be traced back to me, of course. And discretion is key here. As you can tell, gentlemen, I'm a discreet man. Look, way it is, I'm going to drop names. The Red Sash Academy, they're new in town. Highfalutin nobles have set up a sword academy on the other side of Coleridge. Gentrifying the whole place, bringing up the price of sandwiches. Not a fan. But more than that, they won't buy Akarosi steel, the stuff we make here. They're buying it in from Aruvia. So they're paying import tax. All of that on top of it, that's fine with me. But here, now, they're talking about setting up a smithy.
No. You can't have that. Can't have that. Sounds a bit dodgy to me.
Exactly. Now, one thing worse than this. 2 weeks ago, I know a couple of boys in the docks. They intercept a boat. What's the boat full of? Rifles. Single-shot rifles. Bringing weapons into Duskfall. A notoriously peaceful city. Can't have that. Again, think of the children.
Absolutely, yeah. Children they'd struggle to hold the rifles because they'd be too long for them.
Well, that is true. We could modify them here. We do the sawn-offs, but we discretion again. So what I need, gentlemen, is I need you actually to sell these fine Eruvian nobles some rifles. Only they're modified. 5 or 6 of them we have are normal. Good rifles. Good Akarosi rifles. The rest, well, buyer beware. That's all I'll say. Can't be traced back to me. If they know they're coming from here, the sale will go south. But I need those rifles in the hands of those Red Sash because a scrap is coming, and I'd like it to go our way.
Not an unreasonable prospect, Mr. Baz. Not an unreasonable prospect. Well, as you say, at the moment we're nobody, but this time next year, don't mark my words, this time next year. Yeah, what'd you say, lads? Do you think this is doable?
I thought we could do this. Like just keeps trying to hide his face, looking at what's over there.
Tomothy will sort of scoot in between Sid.
For context, you have to pick one like confidant and one person that doesn't like you. I didn't know that the named characters were like named characters, so I just went, "Oh, a gang leader, Basilo. That's a name." The person that doesn't like me.
So he's like, he's looking around and he kind of lays his eyes on Sid and goes, "Do I know you?"
No, you don't. I'm Dave. No name. Yep, that's me.
Of the Mudbrook No Names. It's a strong family.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, there's one more thing. You know, because again, discretion is key in my line of work. And he takes like a piece of coal out and puts it on his desk. 2 nights from now, they're going to be having a bit of a soiree, a midwinter festival. Something Eruvian, I don't understand it. I would like this piece of coal to end up on Myra Clem's desk that evening. And that's all. No violence, no killing, no nothing. It's a gift.
A gift.
A nice gift, eh?
Is there any way of identifying whether or not that's some kind of horrendous insult? I get the feeling that it's a horrendous insult.
It's just him sending a message.
It's a fairly decent message.
Yeah, there's only one place coal comes from in this entire city, and it's this factory.
Fair enough.
I was going to say, it's like a working class horse's head.
I'll pick the coal up and put it in my pocket. Shove it in my pocket. Because I mean, I'm probably the least likely to suffer the
effects of coal.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have the coal in your pocket. What is Dagger doing? All right.
Dagger looks at Baz. He looks back at Sid and back at Delano, and he's like, sounds like an interesting opportunity, but you haven't really said the magic words, and that is the amount of coin you're going to pay us to get this job done.
Well,
my colleague has a very pertinent point, you see, because while we are happy to assist you in this matter, we are also at the same time and indefinitely purveyors of goods, and therefore we're looking at a transactional nature of an arrangement. Obviously, your goodwill goes a long way towards that. It's important to know the right people in this town, and we are very grateful for this opportunity. However, let's get off on the right foot and discuss the nature of recompense, perhaps.
Well, hey, gentlemen, the way I see it, I'm not going to pay you. But don't worry about that. It's not an exposure kind of deal. You're going to sell those rifles, and you're going to pocket everything you sell them for. I never want it to come near my factory. In fact, if I see you coming to me within 2 weeks of selling those, well, Artyom will have a thing or two to say about that. He's got a boot knife. So you can pocket that. And if I hear that piece of coal has landed where it should be, I'll owe you a favour. And in this part of town, a favour's worth its weight in coal.
That it is. I think we will quite happily take that. If you don't want us to transfer any of the funds from these rifles back to you, and you're happy for us to take ownership of them, we will see to it that these red sash so-and-sos get what's coming to them in the form of these finely made Eruvian rifles.
What exactly did you do to the rifles?
Well,
it's just I'm mainly wondering how long in between us delivering the rifles and getting paid and these people using the rifles, they might work out that the rifles don't per se work.
Oh, Timothy, that's what the first 5 are for, you see. You take the first 5 out of the box, you go, look how well they work, give that one a try. Trustworthy enterprise.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well.
If they...
it's not time sensitive.
Die in between receiving the rifles and realising that we sold them dud rifles.
Well, they're not going to fire every single rifle, are they?
Oh, no, they'll fire.
And then they'll come looking for us.
Oh, Brackett, we don't have to worry. You and me, we're golden. Petito is the name of our gang, and there's only one Petito here.
I'm feeling more comfortable about this deal now.
Yeah. And he's like, don't worry, a bit of reassurance. Artyom, you deaf. And then Artyom comes in, oh, yes. He's like, bring us one of the guns. The good one or the special gun. Why would I want to see the good one? And he disappears down the stairs and comes back with what looks like a beautiful Akarosi, like engraved single shot rifle. And he puts it down on the counter, and Bazko presses hard on the cylinder, and it shatters. Just around it. He goes, it's a particularly brittle type of steel we make.
Nice job.
Oh my God,
they don't drop any.
Don't worry, they're well packed. Well packed.
Yeah.
So, of 50, 5 are real, 45 are not. The ones that are real are marked with a white spot on the stock. That's all you need to know. I need this done before this weekend. You've about 3 days.
Well, we'll get right on that then.
Fantastic. And gentlemen, don't come back. Out you go.
Before we leave,
Dream of it.
I'll take a little black book out of my back pocket that's got autographs on it, and I'll say, Baz, I'm a big fan. Can you just to Leon, and I shall push it under his nose.
Oh, Leon.
And he really inspects us, because putting his name on something is often a bad idea, And he flips back 4 pages to make sure there's nothing written that would be like, "I, Baz, go Baz." And, all right. Leon, was it? That's spelled with an L.
Aye.
Leon. Right, there you go. And it just says, "Keep on trucking, Leon."
I'll put him in my back pocket, and I'll have a massive grin on my face.
Excellent.
I better go carry rifles.
Yeah, you will get an experience point for playing into your vice during a score. So, this is the exciting part of the game. As you're leaving the office, you see that there's 10 guys lined up at the bottom of the stairs holding sledges, and Pasco's like, "No, lads, they're on the level. They're on the level." And they all go back to work. He's like, "Discretion is key, gentlemen." So, right, see you later. But remember, before the weekend. And as you come out, there's a carriage sitting there, and it just says "The Robin" on the side of it, and it has crates laid into the carriage, crates of what you assume to be these rifles. And Artem is standing there, and he's going, "You'll take with you when you go."
I'm gonna check all 4 wheels before we get in.
Yeah. No, there are only 3. He's like, 4 wheels is suspicious in this part of town.
Understandable.
check them.
Understandable.
Yeah, the 3 that are there are good.
So I have a question. Have you guys been paid in money before? I've only been paid in the exposure stuff.
Oh yeah, I usually get coin when I do a job. But
Oh, okay. They just kept telling me they'd spread my name around real good, but I don't know how good that is.
if it's a good reputation, there's something to be said for that. Personally, I prefer to stick to the
okay.
shadows, though. So
They were usually quite angry when they said that, though. So I don't know. I don't know if that's. It's probably
Me.
fine.
I'm pretty sure Baz knew who you were.
No,
So-
I don't know anything about that. Let's get in the carriage. Let's go.
So we're the kind of beauty of this game is we skip all the chaff we don't need. Later that evening, you're back in your hideout with your wagon full of rifles, and you know that you have about 2 or 3 days to get this achieved, to secure the sale, plant the piece of coal, and that's it. The only thing Basco did say is there's a party 2 days away. Maybe that's helpful, maybe not.
Yep. So I think we need to gather some information. So I think probably Dagger would go and try to survey the area around around where the party's going to be, to see if there's easy entrances or any way to get in and out, particularly if they don't have invitations. But he'll leave the invitation part up to Sid and Delano to see if they can score invitations or not.
This sounds like our first roll of the evening. So please make a survey roll for this.
Any devil's bargain for that, or?
The devil's bargain is that you're not as subtle as maybe you think walking around this part of town, and your face will be noted by someone.
I'll just roll with the 1 die and see how bad it is this time. Risky standard?
Yeah, risky standard.
Sounds like a drink. Yeah, I can have a
Two
risky
risky
standard.
standards. Oh,
Yes!
wow, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're prowling around the Sword Academy, and it's this like incredibly bespoke building. If you think of like kind of an American style clinker built Louisiana mansion is on the edge of this place, and security is tight. At the gate, they have checks going in. You can see there are like people training in the yard, and you've done this kind of thing before, so you're moving around, and you kind of set yourself up at a tavern that overlooks it in the upstairs booth, and you realize the one gap in their hall is that there's only one guy on the back gate checking people coming in who work there.
So Dagger's making some notes to himself, and then he'll slide out into the shadows and head back to the hideout.
Fantastic. Does anyone else want to do something? Even looking at your contacts, is there anyone you could talk to who might be able to help you in this?
Could I study so I can know about the red sashes and stuff, and maybe say cool stuff to them? I don't know.
Yeah, perfect. So you could go to the library, read up on the red sash, or even check, if they advertise what they do.
Okay, so would it be? Yeah. So what's the position? Risk controlled because it's just in the library.
Position is controlled, I would say, for this one. Yeah.
Okay, and then it's just standard.
Standard, yeah.
Cool. Okay. And I don't have any bonuses. I got a 2 and a 3. I'm not very good at studying.
Yeah, so you don't really learn anything you didn't already know. You find this like very handsome looking book about the red sash, and it essentially was written and published by the red sash. It's their own version of propaganda. And the red sash are the most competent sword fighters in all of the world. They're normally taller than everyone, and they have really nice eyes. That kind of stuff, So.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, if you could have given me like a really big book that's really well informed, but I just got bored at like the introduction or like the acknowledgements. I just went, oh no, fuck it, and then just went to the proper.
You skimmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else before we look at how we might go about this plan?
I want to have a look at the guns that work and the ones that don't, and just learn everything about them. So if any questions come up,
Great. So that sounds to me like it's either a study or a tinker roll.
I would like to tinker with them.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
So how do the guns work? Well, you point them at people, right, and then the people die. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of this.
Now you have to shout bang as well.
Oh well.
So what is that? Is a controlled roll, right?
It will be controlled, yes, because you're doing this in your hideout. There's no one on your case. Great.
5.
Yeah. So the only complication here is, in doing this, you managed to break one of the rifles. You have 49 rifles, but everything inside and out. The working ones are master crafted, beautiful pieces of Akarosi gun craftsmanship, and the fakes, the duds, look almost identical. Almost. The only difference is they weigh slightly less in your hand.
Can I? What I will do is suggest to someone that we might want to work out how much these things are worth before you actually go and try and sell them.
Sell them too cheap.
I haven't got a clue, but maybe one of you guys might want to know.
6.
At least. But what I want to do is consort around the bars and the taverns and find out if there's anyone who's buying large numbers of weapons and what sort of coin they're offering for them. So that was literally what I was going to say.
Right, great, yeah.
Who's buying and what can we get?
So this is a risky roll because you're going around going, anyone want a rifle?
Yeah.
I
got some guns. I want to buy a gun.
Can I go with it? Can I go with him just to make sure he doesn't get hurt?
Perfect. You can actually lend an assistance, so it will cost you a stress. But Ben will get an extra dice.
Okay, I have a stress.
So consort, risky, effect standard, bonus dice, 1.
Simon takes the stress.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know how good these guns go bang, and then looks to Simon's character. What do they say? Oh, they go bang.
Looks decent. 5 and a 4 and a 4.
It goes really well for you. You kind of, you've done this before. You've kind of canvassed. In fact, you're a recognized face around the town.
I kind of play into a bit of the buffoon angle a little bit. Everybody thinks he's not as shrewd as he thinks he is, but he knows exactly how shrewd he is and realizes that people don't think he's as shrewd as he thinks they think he is.
Absolutely. So, it's been a long night. Even Leon is tired because he's been having to stand on his feet and look intimidating when you're like, I've got way too many rifles. And, everyone's like, I can take those off your hand. Leon's like, oh, away you go. Kind of late in the evening, you're sitting down. It's actually, you've given up on this. And you're approached by a very clean-cut gentleman who should not be slumming in this part of town. And he kind of comes into the bar, and he's not from here because everyone looks at him when he comes in, and he does the wrong thing, and he nods to everyone.
The music box in the corner stops.
Yeah, and then he sits down across from me, and he's like, "I am of the understanding that you are a man who, how I say, might have ordnance for sale."
I might have indeed. I have been fortunate enough to come into a shipment of, what shall we say, a limited number of firearms of late that may be of value to the right buyer. See, the trouble is, a lot of the people I've spoken to this evening, they all want to buy one here and one there, and a shipment like this is kind of an all or nothing kind of deal. I'm looking to ship 50 of them.
This is no problem for me. Time is more of a concern for myself. I need them now. Tonight, maybe?
Tonight? Well, that would certainly speed things up a little. That's obviously going to have to come at a slight premium because obviously shipping and cargo and portage fees and such like.
I am willing to pay 10 Akarosi coin, which is a small fortune, as just pleasure.
10, you say?
I'll nudge him. That's really good, isn't it? That's really good.
Count on my fingers for a little bit.
Take your shoes off.
That's that doesn't seem too unreasonable. Can I get your name, sir?
Yes, Clem.
Oh, Mr. Clem, I have heard of you. Oh, pleasure to meet someone of your high standing.
How you know I am of high standing? And he looks like a peacock in the
Well, sir, I noticed the stitching on the lining of your coat there. It's ever so slightly more even than one would expect to see in a tavern of this sort of quality. No offence to my friends and colleagues around you, but quite often we get a lot of hand-stitched stuff that's, maybe not quite at the same standard as the delicate stitching along your left cuff there.
Well, fantastic. Well, tonight then, So I hope you appreciate that an order of this magnitude is not without problems. If the bluecoats or, say, a gang of street thieves were to find out about this, it would be not very good for anyone involved.
No, absolutely. Well, I wouldn't want any ruffians attempting to take these guns off my hands. I'm looking only for a reputable gentleman such as yourself to pass them on to. I've turned down any number of ne'er-do-wells. Because obviously we've got to think of the safety of the children.
These rifles are not for children.
No.
Are these children rifles?
No.
Rifles.
Too long for children. They can't hold them proper.
Oh, that is good.
They get them under their arms, and it's just unwieldy. They can't turn sideways, get through doorways, that kind of thing. No, this is proper rifles. Good Akarosi stuff.
And he's like, I will give you a address. And he writes on a little piece of script. And he puts it on the table.
Mate, for 10 coins, I'll wear a dress if that's what you want.
Could you both make for me a sort of roll to see what's going on in the bar around you? It's up to you what you roll. You could roll wreck and just throw a table at someone. But how are you scoping out what's going on in the bar?
I'm gonna stick with the consort, I think, because it's being aware of what's going on around you in this kind of environment. Is this risky or regular?
It's risky because are you being spotted by the person or people?
Okie dokie.
Okay, and Simon, would you please make a roll for me?
Yeah.
You're like, the stitching is exceptional.
I'm thinking, I can't ask him for an autograph because if I do, he'll have to put his name next to the other guys, and then he'll know where the guns came from, and the plan will be scuffed.
That's the smartest thing you've done all year, Simon.
Yeah. Well done, Simon. I think that was good for everyone involved. Ben, Delano notices that there's like a couple of locals sitting at the bar who are kind of turning ever so slightly over their shoulder, and they've been paying a lot of attention to this conversation, and they're kind of maybe conversing with each other.
Right, well, sir, it looks as though this will probably conclude our business dealing for this evening. So I shall have this delivery shipped across to the address you provided before the morning.
And as you get up to leave, one of the guys from the bar stands up, and he's followed by his two colleagues. They're all looking at you. And Leon, you know these guys. One of them is Sal of Group San Savino.
San Savino. I will turn around. I'll say, "Oi, San Savinos, what's occurring?" And then I'm going to hit him.
Excellent. So I will actually, just for sheer, you have the drop on this guy. He was kind of, he was going to try and flagal you. I'll give you an extra dice in your skirmish for this.
Wicked.
Would you like to push yourself, take 2 stress for an additional dice?
Yeah, definitely. Skirmish. Okay, skirmish. So as I hit him, I'll tell Del, you chip it, mate. I'll see you back later. Risky, is it risky?
It is risky. It is certainly risky.
Risky, and then effect standard.
Standard. You're punching it, yeah.
That's standard. Yeah. Okay.
Unless you'd like to try and hit him with a bar stool
No. There's no knives or anything involved in this. 1 dice, 1 bonus dice. Oh no, get 2, don't I? Because I got a bonus. I got the drop on him.
Yep.
And I push. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Nice. Got a 6.
Excellent. So the scene plays out, and this guy turns and he's like, "Ah, Leon, it is me, Sal of San Savino." And his head just gets rocked back on his, and he goes sprawling back across the bar. And the barman's like, "You, no!" But as he's saying this, the other 2 guys are hopping on you,
Yeah.
And Ben, what is Delano doing?
I'm going to escort our guest out of this fine establishment for his safety.
Excellent. And he is very he's very thankful. Is this normal in these pubs? You don't drink a large glass of wine followed by a bowl of heavy cream? No.
It's quite typical in this sort of area. So it's kind of a sport, almost a pastime, if you like. This kind of violence, it's a bonding thing. They keeps the blood warm, reduces your heating costs, that kind of thing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll just go and make sure that my colleague is doing all right.
So I just rolled a fortune dice to see how the San Savinos were doing, and I got a 1. So as you're saying, if my colleague's doing all right, one of the San Savinos comes out through the window and rolls down the street and gets back up and runs back into the bar. He's doing fine. He's really holding his own. And we're going to close that there, and we'll begin our heist. So we'll wait for the Lewis and Aaron to get back. But so far, you guys have gathered 3 additional dice for your engagement roll. An engagement roll is how well the start of the heist is going. So you've gathered information. You know where there's a weak spot into this place, perhaps somewhere you could get in, unknown. You tried to learn something about them in the library, wasn't very successful. But you do know how the guns work, everything about them. You're very familiar with them. And your 3rd dice is you were able to consort and actually find this guy. So how this works is you'll be rolling 4 dice because you get 1 for sheer luck in this adventure. The only complication is you have angered the San Slavinos, so you lose a dice because now these guys are on the prowl for, they just said 3 of their guys just got their teeth rearranged. They got some nice summer teeth, so they're now on the prowl for at least Leon. So there's people looking for you. So who would like to roll?
I will make sure at least one of them gets a good shot, because you don't want to really embarrass people, It's not what you do.
Plus, it's not a proper scrap if you haven't got something to show for it.
No.
Yeah.
So we have we've multiple ways to go about our engagement, and to avoid over planning, which is the whole goal of Blades in the Dark, we break it down into which one of these methods we would like to use. So we can use assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. So it's up to you guys which you think it's most likely what you're trying to do. Selling rifles to someone, although they're dodgy. Is it
What was
assault,
the second choice? It's not stealth.
deception?
Deception or social, I think, are the ways to go.
I like the idea of assault only because I like the thought of being like, we're going to show you how good these guns are by shooting at you, and then they go, I'm of course joking.
Is it what's the movie where your man sells guns and it's like, rule number 1, don't get shot with your own product. So we're saying maybe deception?
Deception or social, what do you think? Aaron, you're the expert, but what does everybody else reckon?
I mean, I would say probably deception, because it's a one-on-one scenario. We're selling to a single point. Social's more like, you're getting into a party or manipulating like that. In my opinion, I would say deception.
So we shouldn't wink at the end of each of our sentences. So like, oh yeah, these guns are great. Wink. They're definitely going to work for you in the long run. Wink. Why do you keep winking? No reason. Wink.
Yeah, okay. It says, and remember, there is a second part to your job. You need to get a piece of code.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, do we want to run these two simultaneously? Like, my guy is pretty much designed to sneak in and sneak out of places. So, I mean, I could take the coal while you're selling the guns and try to sneak in and drop it on her desk.
That does sound like a plan. What do you reckon, Nye?
Well, I'm going to say which one is less likely to get me shot. And
you could come with
the one.
Me.
Okay, that sounds like a good one. I don't want to get shot again.
Yeah. Me and Sid.
Yeah.
All right, so you and Sid are delivering the coal, and me and Leon are selling the guns.
Fantastic. So we have a deception roll with 3 dice. Who would like to roll our 3 dice?
Don't let me roll. I've had only bad rolls.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay.
Is there a space for rolling 3 dice, or should I just use
If
dice?
you just slash roll.
Oh yeah, I could do the dice rolling
3d6.
thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's bad.
That is bad.
Well, it's not too bad.
So it's
I mean, the 4 is
4.
there.
It succeeds. Like you guys, you rock up to the address, and it's actually, you can't believe it. It is the Sword Academy, is where this guy has organized to buy these rifles. I guess they think it's discreet because no one else is there by themselves. But it also
But
is
there's going to be a lot of geezers with really big knives.
Hey, and by the way, Josh, just real quick, to let you know, I'm going in with a normal load.
Oh yes, good question. How many objects are we carrying? Are we tooled up to the teeth? Are we looking normal? Are we carrying a light amount to give us better kind of like agility?
Reminder again, where are we putting the coal? Whose house is it?
It's in the Sword Academy.
In that guy's office.
In the sword.
On Miraclim's desk,
Okay.
yes.
Because I have no stealth, so I'm probably gonna have to go in like as another person. Probably.
You could also run distraction for Aaron.
Yeah. So you can distract while
I'm very good at annoying people, so that's yeah.
I'm here with my skirt and leather. I gotta put up the skating boards.
Yeah. This is but this is the bathroom. Well, you've got them. You need them. Just let me put them up.
So as your cart trundles in, it's like Leon and Ben are sitting at the front. Leon is now sporting a very handsome black eye, which he kind of leaned into. You know, he was like, "No, I don't want to take it on the eye. I want it on the cheekbone." You know, and kind of you know, an amped up look as the two of you come in, and we just see as the cart passes through the gates and this, you know, the guards are nodding. Two figures roll out from under it and disappear into the shadow of the wall, and that would be Dagger and Sid.
Oh, I like.
And you're kind of like, there's almost too many people directing you. You know, there's a guy like this way, shh. Another guy like, no, you come, you know, and you realize you passed maybe 10 people directing you to this small like boathouse at the back. Discretion is maybe not something these guys understand.
I'm prepared to go out on a limb here, Leon, and suggest that we probably do not wish to get into a scuffle with these gentlemen.
Okay.
If we can avoid it.
Okay.
So do try and let them swing first if such a situation arises.
I'll wait for the signal.
Good man.
So
I
you're
want the
ushered into
excuse
this.
to use the signal now.
So you're ushered into this stable, and it's you know, it's a very well appointed, very clean stable. They don't actually keep horses. This is just, it was on the property beforehand, and clearly our buddy Clem is upset by his lack of gravitas earlier, because he's changed outfit. He's now wearing like a very drab black coat, and he's sitting smoking a long cigarette out of a box, looking every part the rogue. He's, my I forgot what accent I gave. my friends, please come in. Boys, the door. And the door closes, and then he takes a light for his cigarette and he puts it into a torch, and the torch lights beside him. It's the only light in the room. So you have the product, the ordnance.
Absolutely. Let me get you a little sample so you can take a look at what it is you're purchasing.
Oh no, I would like to do a random sample, please.
Of course.
I will be picking 3 rifles, and I will be firing them. I have set up a range, and he has like a dummy at the, you know, it's like a straw dummy at the end, and he's written the word Bazco on the dummy in like you know, and he was like, I will be experimenting with the rifles, please.
Absolutely. Frantically trying to think about how I can NLP the crap out of this guy now.
I'm now realizing I should have gone with them because I've got good sway. Sorry.
So yeah, I'm going to try and subtly direct him to the weapons we want him to use,
Right.
using, you know, a bit of body language, a little bit of a nudge and a wink, and a pointing him in the right direction.
Okay, it sounds like a desperate action.
It does sound pretty desperate.
Nice.
I think this might be a devil's bargain kind of moment.
Yeah. What devil's bargain would you recommend, Ben? This is, you know, I have one in mind, but perhaps you have one.
Oh, I'm going to need your help with this, chaps. What do you think?
Devil's bargain, I think a good one would be, regardless of whether or not you succeed or fail, he's going to remember that you're the guy that sold him the rifles. So ultimately, when they fail, you've made an enemy of the Eruvian sword lords.
So I have a question. So I think I know what a single shot rifle is, but I'm wondering if he knows. So like when you fire it, you can fire it again. It's not like a one-use weapon. Yes.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
it's kind of a
that-
breech loading.
No, I
thing.
figured. I like the idea. Like, no. If you use it once, you can't use it again.
So these are
Oh!
disposable rifles. Yeah, no, it is a refirable rifle, but it holds one shot.
Yeah, no, I know.
It
I
has
just
to be
was
manual,
hoping they
yeah.
wouldn't know what a rifle was, so they'd just be like, we'll have to choose carefully then.
Yeah,
So Ben, it sounds like a desperate action. Would you say you're trying to command him maybe to do this, or consort with him?
I think
sway
sway
him,
kind of lead him in the right direction rather than force him.
And are you going to take the devil's bargain that he will remember?
I think I'm going to have to take the devil's bargain because otherwise we're kind of dead anyway.
Great. So you get an additional dice. Leon, would you like to assist in any way?
Yeah. Can I? I basically, I'm going to say, oh, there's spirits around here. I've seen. Oh. And I'm basically going to just act a little bit freaked, as if I've just seen like a ghost or something just walked over my body.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wait!
like
I've just remembered a key thing about this game is flashbacks.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I would like to have a flashback that will help
Fantastic.
me in
Okay,
this
tell me what the
situation
flashback
then.
is.
Earlier in the evening, after having met him, but before having delivered the guns to him, I took note of the fact that he was quite well dressed and very precise and clean and accurate about things that he did. So I would like some of the rifles to look slightly nicer and well cared for than others, so as to encourage him to focus on those ones. So
Nice.
shone up with a little bit of spit and polish, bit of brasso rubbed in there, maybe a little bit of wood stain rubbed into the stock to make
Brilliant.
it look a bit nicer. I think Petitot's independent purveyors are quite good at rubbing dog shit in glitter and passing it off as gold.
So yeah, I'd say in terms of stress, it's going to cost you 1 stress. It's not a massive thing you've underdone, but it's not going to work perfectly. It is just going to give you an additional dice in this. So you have
Fair.
a stack of dice now. You have the assist, you have your devil's bargain, you have your regular dice, and you on top of that you can push yourself, take 2 stress, and get an additional dice, which I think will be 5 for you, isn't it?
I think that will happen then. So
Did
I'm
I
rolling.
take 2 stress for the assist?
You take 1 stress for the assist.
1 stress for an assist.
One
Yeah.
stress.
So I'm rolling sway, which I
Yeah.
have 2 dice in. The position is desperate.
Desperate, which you get an experience point for.
Hey!
Yeah.
If I live.
If you
The effect is standard.
Standard effect, yeah. It would have been limited, but because of the spit and polish and all of that,
Bonus dice is 3 or 5? Did you
3.
say? 3.
3.
3 bonus dice. Come on, dice, don't fail me now.
A 6.
Oh, yeah. So he the box lid opens and he's like, he's enjoying, savoring the moment, and he's like, and he's hovering a hand over one. He looks at your reaction. He's like, and then he goes to, and it's clear that a lot of them just look grubby. They're like oily. And at one point he picks one up and he's like, and he like cleans his hand, and then he takes one of the rifles. And he aims down the range, and he's like, this reminds me of when I used to hunt the wild buffalo. Misses by miles, and it goes off beautifully. Perhaps the sights on these need to be recalibrated. I will need to consider that in my price. And we're going to cut across, while this is going on, to our other 2 figures. So you've just rolled off the cart. They've gone around. There's a lot of figures in the yard. What are you 2 guys up to?
Oh, I think I landed on my back and my head simultaneously. Okay, I'm good.
We'll be good, Sid. We'll be good. So Dagger's looking around. He's going to wait until that there is a break in the surveillance, and then he turns to Sid. He goes, "I'll leave over with my climbing gear, and then I'll pull you over the fence, and
Okay,
we'll go
yeah.
up the side of the building."
Yeah.
So he's going to, I think, probably finesse, and he's going to push himself so he gets the devil's footstep, and he's just basically going to vertically leap
Just from
over
start.
this high fence.
Alley up. Excellent. Right, go for it.
All right, let's see here. I'm assuming risky standard.
Risky, yeah. It's not desperate. It's risky and standard effect. I don't know if you can hear my dog having a
Yes!
strength in the background there. Yes! Oh,
That's
good that you
6.
pushed yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I had such a plan for when it didn't work out. So yeah, just over the wall. Sid, you just watch as like from a stand, there's no run up. He just goes, huh, and up over the wall. And then next, a rope flies back over to you. Silently.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the 2 of you can get over the wall without incident. You're now facing, this building. You know that probably her office will be higher up the building. You can tell from the large windows that downstairs it looks like there's some sort of like dojo or something. And as you get higher up in the building, the windows get smaller.
So we'll move into the shadows of the building, and then out of his inside breast pocket, Dagger takes out his silence potion, and he gives it to Sid. He's like, I know you're not great at stealth, but once you drink this, nobody will hear anything that happens within 10 feet of either one of us.
Okay.
As long as we stay together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm fucking. Yeah. No. I'm not leaving your side. Fuck that. No. Yeah.
Great. So it sounds like you need possibly a prowl to get into the building.
Yep. So, and I've got my shadow cloak on, so he's prowling around looking for an entry point. What's a devil's bargain look for this?
Devil's bargain looks like for this. I think the devil's bargain will be that. I think I like an inter-party run. I like the idea that you maybe didn't account for how bad Sid was at this, so you will get an additional bonus. But any of the attention that will be directed at you two will be directed at Sid.
You turn around as you think about this, and you look at Sid, and he's like,
lifting the lid off like a garbage can, looking at clank.
There's cards falling out of his back pocket all the way down the building.
He's got that whole Oscar Wilde thing going on. Every time he passes a cupboard, he opens it to see if it's the booze cupboard.
Dagger looks back at Sid, and he seriously considers it. He sees how this is going to go, and he can't do it. Not to Sid. So he will push himself to try to prowl around here quietly. He's got his shadow cloak on. He tells Sid, stay close, stay quiet.
The shadow cloak will give you increased effect.
Yep.
So it's risky, but your effect is great.
Great. Okay. And one bonus die. Come on, bonus die. Get in there.
Here we go. 1, a 1, and a 5. So yes, you do find what you're looking for. You know from, you've been doing this for years, breaking into these places. You know where the master office is. It's the slightly wider between windows. The only issue is the light's on. Your drawback is the light is on in this office. The rest of the building is quiet. There's obviously some sort of quarters where people are staying, but the light is on in this office. It's on the second story.
Yeah, I have an idea.
What you got, Sid?
Okay, so, if you can get us into the room next to the office, and then I'll go in, and I'll pretend to be a cleaner, and then I'll be really annoying, because I'm good at that. And then the person will want to get me out of the room, and then while they're distracted, you get in there and put the coal, and then I'll leave.
Sid, you're a bloody genius. We will do that.
Okay. Yeah. And can I, because you were saying about equipment, can I have my subterfuge supplies? And can
Absolutely.
I put a fake nose on and some pretend warts and stuff just to not look like me? Because I'm going to be really annoying.
So Dagger holds out his hand. He's like, well, Sid, since you're obviously going to have to talk to that guy, you might as well give me the silence potion back, because
yeah. No, then that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Could you imagine just trying to talk to him, he's making no noise?
It's a mad mime.
Like a mime.
Why do they keep breaking in here?
This is the 6th one this month.
So we'll see how you guys get on with the window, and then we'll cut back across to the stables. Looking around, Dagger, you could make that climb without climbing gear, but you're not sure that Sid would be able to make it.
Well, I've still got my light climbing gear, so that'll be okay. I said, Sid, I'll get up there, and then I'll lower the rope, and I'll pull you up after I get my position.
Great.
Okay. Simon, is Leon any good at shooting?
What shooting? Hunt? Or
depends on the circumstances. It's usually hunt if it's from a distance. If you're in melee, like with a pistol, it might be.
If it's hunt, I could almost give it a go.
I've got a hunt of 1.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you're both proficient.
could be sway if you want to look super cool and like shoot, and then they're like, "Oh, you've swayed me."
But you do need to shout bang when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, duh.
Well.
So
I can
he
always
missed because he reckons the sights aren't calibrated. I reckon it's because he's a crap shot.
Right, I could put an apple on my head, and you could shoot the apple off my head.
I love where this is going.
I don't.
Let's do it. I think that's the way we go.
Punched
We'll
as
just
it
tell
was.
him. We'll just tell him. Look, these guns are amazing. Don't be talking about gun sights, right? And I'll find a bit of this. I'll use one of my items as an apple. There you go. Right. I'll take an apple out of my pocket and I'll walk up and stand next to the whatever the dummy, and I'll put an apple on my head and I'll go on. I'll say, "Go on, Del. Go on, Del. Show him what it can do."
Now, I'm not going to tell you how to play, but remember you have flashbacks. That doesn't have to be an ordinary apple. This could have been planned 2 days ago.
What, like an
Or you
exploding
could just
apple?
shoot Leon.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Like a little,
we
you know.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
You could actually take one of the dodgy guns, couldn't you? And you could shoot an exploding apple.
Well, I was going to say it's like we filled this apple full of gunpowder. I'm going to put it right on top of my head. This part of my head.
The top half is full of gunpowder. Is this a good use of a flashback? I think it might just be because there's a
I'd be
good
quite happy
chance
if
I'll
you could
shoot
just-
him in the face.
I'd be quite happy if you just shoot the apple. I mean, I'm just a labourer.
Yeah, but I might shoot you in the face.
Oh, okay.
And I need your face to stop people's fists.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Why
A
don't you
backup
put the
character
apple on
ready
you-
for you, Leon.
when you put
Or
the
Simon.
when you put the apple on your head, and I'll shoot it because I've got one dice. I'm all good with that. I'm happy with them odds.
No.
Okay, so we're using a flashback then.
Well, if you want me to shoot you in the face, I will use my one dice and shoot you in the face.
Now we'll go.
Just remember, you can always resist the consequences. You know, if it goes really bad, you know, you can reduce the effect.
I've got like skirmish, so I could duck and catch the bullet with the apple.
Does not work that way.
just like
So
really
if you
tighten your
do get
face like
shot,
this.
But I could think of that.
yeah,
Do it
if you do
back
get
up.
shot, you could resist, like Aaron said, you could resist getting shot in the face, and you could pick somewhere else for the bullet to have hit you. So you may not necessarily die from this. And that you could use your skirmish skill to like samurai kind of.
Yeah, also,
dodge and
or you
take out
could
each other
like
and stuff.
happen to have a thing in your pocket.
Okay.
Be a flashback, yeah.
Okay. Go with the flashback.
We're going to go with the flashback.
We'll go with the flashback.
All right. Right. So
Who's doing the flashback? Yeah.
Do you want me to?
yeah. You,
Is it Leon just stuffing an apple with?
Yeah.
Well, you could have worked with Timothy back in, because I mean he is the leech,
Yeah.
and he could
Yeah.
That's
have
true.
made the exploding apple.
So could Timothy have made the apple? Could you make the roll
100%.
for?
Yeah.
So basically, what we'll do is as soon as I put the apple on my head, you have to count to 10, because in 10 the apple explodes, and that's basically how it is. I just press a button, and then the apple will go.
Fantastic, I love it.
Yeah.
So you're standing there, and he's
So
like,
how many stress is that then?
that's I don't know. I think the flashback isn't necessarily stress inducing.
Okay.
If you think about putting a thing in the apple, but the only trouble was that Timothy really wanted to practice,
Yeah.
and for the last 2 hours before you came here, he has been shooting pistols in your direction to see how realistic he can make it. And twice he was like, "Oh, it was loaded." so I think it's a 3 stress encounter. The apple itself wasn't stressful; it was just the means of doing it.
Who's taking? Is that Simon? You taking that stress? You're
I'll
at
take
what?
the
Like,
stress.
are you
I've
at
got
7
1, 2,
now?
3, 4, 5. I'm at 7. I've still got 2 left, haven't I?
Yeah, so Simon's going to need to cool off on the stress. Yeah, so
Well, do you want me-
the apple.
Okay. Do you want me- yeah. Well, I suppose I've got to take it in that sense.
So this guy's like, I don't know, as I seem fairly inaccurate. I was the best shot in my unit.
No.
And he turns to-
It's because they're unfamiliar to you. You just need a bit of practice. It'll be fine. Look, I'll prove it to you.
He's reaching for one of the like grubbier rifles. How you prove this to me?
Well, I don't know. Leon, what do you reckon?
Okay. I've got an apple in my pocket. How about you shoot this off the top of my head?
Well, now we have a ball game, gentlemen.
How's that?
I shall walk over and I shall press the button because I don't think it's going to take him long to enact the rest. 10's quite long, isn't it, in a conversational sense? I shall stand next to it with the apple on my head.
Okay, well, I'm not very convinced. This is a large apple. Let's see if you can hit it.
As you say, sir. As you say. Right, here we go. Let me think. You point the end with the hole in at the other person, right? Point the hole at the apple, not at the person.
Have you your affairs in order, sir?
I think I'm about ready to go. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. It'll be a hunt. So you can push yourself for an additional dice. You will take 2 stress for it. The devil's bargain is the same as before. You will be the guy who sold him the dodgy rifles.
Well, I'm already the guy who sold him the dodgy rifles.
Oh, you've already taken that devil's bargain.
I've already taken that devil's bargain. I will push myself.
You can push yourself, or the devil's bargain you could take is that in the last split second, Leon sees a flash of anger in your eyes and goes, "Uh-oh," and that will forever be in your relationship going forward.
No, I think I'll just push myself. So, rolling hunt, risky.
Desperate. Yeah. Effect standard, you know.
Effect standard, bonus dice.
You're actually aiming to miss, yeah. Bonus dice, you took 1 for pushing yourself.
1 for pushing myself.
Cool. So you got a 5 and a 1. So yeah, you're like, and you hold the rifle, and just ever slightly tilted, and in this, like, you're all covered in this spray of apple, and it's like, amazing, and outside you hear someone going, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" through the back of the stable, and he's like, "Well, I can see these have high velocity rounds. Perhaps I have been drinking. Is a custom now. Yes, I think I will take a lot. We agreed 8 coin? No?
I believe so. We agreed 10 coin. However, as this is an early sale, and to promote goodwill between ourselves, how about we split the difference and go for 9 coin?
Convinced to do 9. This is not a problem for me. Yes, I will do 9 coin. Fantastic. What is that noise outside? So yeah, we cut back across to our 2 gentlemen who are now upstairs in what is actually, it's like it's a small office, but you've landed in the ensuite attached to the office.
So at that point, Dagger will himself take the silence potion, then give the thumbs up to Sid to start the distraction, and then he'll be prepared to climb outside and onto the wall, and then over to the window into the office. Once he sees the light in that window, or he sees the door shutters.
Great, sounds fantastic. So, Sid, what are you doing that is going to cause a distraction?
So I would like to say with my subterfuge, I probably, like, or maybe I just found him in the office, like, I don't know, like a dustpan and brush or something. Like, you know, just cleaning stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to have a flashback to bring it to spot.
No.
You never know.
I would like to, not super loudly, but loud enough that the person is going to hear as they're, like, working away in the next room. He's going to be like, "When I'm cleaning offices, I like cleaning offices. I like cleaning offices." And as they're hearing that, I'd like to open the door, but with my back to it, and just being like, and immediately not even look at the desk, start just like randomly sweeping up and doing like a little jig. I like cleaning offices. It's so much fun.
I'm going to roll a fortune roll to see. Actually, do you know what? Let's not do that. Let's see. That sounds like a sway, probably. Is it not?
Okay.
You're trying to convince someone to
bite.
I think you should definitely get a bonus for, because he's got the when the rumba rhythm starts to play thing going on there.
Yeah, I will give you a bonus for the performance. You get an extra dice.
So it's risky. Yep.
Risky? Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And it's a standard effect, and I get 1 bonus dice.
1 bonus dice.
Okay. I got a 4, a 3, a 6, and a 4.
Amazing. So from the office next door, you can hear someone going, and then like audibly good dunk, and opening the door, and being like, I thought we said you wasn't supposed to be in on Tuesdays.
Oh, am I? Wait, no. I'm pretty sure. And I'm gonna get like up and like kind of pretend to dust myself off. No. That we agreed this with the union. No. It's Tuesdays are always on Tuesdays, and I get to sing my song.
We better take a look at the roster again. And she's like, honestly, you people. And she starts walking down the corridor towards like the staff room.
Okay.
It is so hard in a city, a civilized city, to find a man who will clean this place. You're the fourth clean. I don't even know you. Who are you working for?
Now see that. Yeah, no, that's just what the bourgeoisie do. They ignore the common individual. And I said when I joined this job, I wouldn't put my views on the workforce forward, but I'm going to do this now because you've interrupted me while I'm doing my hard-working cleaning. So, I'm going to take out like a random bit of paper and just pretend to write something down. Yeah, no, that's noted. It's noted. Let's go and see. Yeah, no. Pop that
she's getting quite, she's like, well, I would never have considered myself a member of the bourgeoisie, but I'm happy to be a member of the bourgeoisie if it means not being associated with the likes of you.
Traitor.
Dagger, you have an excellent set of actions, so you get a bonus dice for your action.
Excellent. So he'll slide over into the other window. He will push himself once again, using his devil's footstep to just effortlessly slide in and drop this coal on the desk. So are we talking finesse or prowl?
It's really your discretion.
That's two in either, so I'll go with finesse. I think it's probably more of it's a subtle, dexterous maneuver. Risky standard?
It's risky, of course, and it is standard effect. You are simply putting coal on a desk and you have a good distraction.
Now, since I'm silent, absolutely silent, do I get any great effect with that? Or
I would actually say you get a bonus dice because I was going to make you knock something over, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's critical success.
Yes. So not only do you leave the coal on the desk, but while you're there, you notice there are a few things on the desk. There are, a lot of time slots for meetings, which you could easily remember. And there's some names, and some of these are names that you realize are members of the parliament of this town. For that, and more than that, the most disturbing thing you find is you find Bazcoat Baz's home address.
Ooh. I jot down all this information really quickly in my little lurker's journal on my hand, and then slowly, quietly make my way back out of the office.
Excellent. So down the corridor, you hear Sid, and this lady says, "Sir, I don't mean to do this, sir, but I think I'm going to have to let you go."
and deprive my partner, my 8 kids, my 3 aunts, my 7 uncles, and my 24 illegitimate grandparents.
Well, I run a fine establishment here, sir, and you are disrupt. It is late. It is very late. You should not be singing. We have, and she points to the sign that says no singing. We have a rule. We have a rule.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You'll never see me again. Just
I'll have security escort you out, sir. And then she rings one of these, like, she pulls a string on the wall, and these 2 hulking brutes come up wearing these red scarves, and she's like, "Gentlemen, please show this member of the working class out."
You'll have to. I imagine he's gonna I'm going to you'll have to take it. Actually, no. You look quite big and strong. Okay. I'll go willingly. Yeah. No.
You're lifted like a bunch of grapes. It really doesn't matter to them.
No. That's fine. Yeah.
Excellent. So it's mission accomplished on both fronts. So now we have an exit strategy. Dagger, how are you getting out?
So Dagger will just drop down the wall into the shadows and then hop right back over the wall and walk away, assuming that the plan is we'll meet back up in the hideout, separately once the deal is done.
Perfect. And we'll cut back across to the stables where the guy who was outside the shot is now inside, and he's been shot through the arm. And Clem is like, don't worry, he is always bleeding. I always say to him, Michael, you cannot be bleeding. And here you are in our stables, getting blood all over his rifles. So, yes, he has a 9 coin, and he counts them out. And he's like, I will remember you if we need future business. Ammunition, do you specialize in this kind of thing?
Not specialised, no. I tend to generalise, but for the right price, I can usually acquire whatever goods you require.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I shall see you out. And they help you unload all the boxes off the cart. And you guys are trundled out by, again, way too many people, one of whom is holding his arm as he directs you. And the cart leaves. Congratulations, you succeeded in your heist. We will go briefly, very briefly. I'm looking at the time. How long have we left? How long have we been going for?
Only an hour and 15 minutes.
Pretty fast score there, really.
Yeah, it was good. Well done.
Yeah.
We could look at Downtime.
In and
it's a
out.
really exciting part of the game. Downtime is kind of where the consequences of your actions happen. Oh no, the consequences of my actions. And you also get to kind of build your character a little bit because you get to see them what they do when they're not doing a crime. So the first thing we have to do is we have to establish how much heat you got from this score. Heat is essentially the currency of how many people are looking for you, what the street is like, that kind of thing. So I'll just get to the right page in my book. Payoff heat, here we go. So we do this collaboratively. I can't say you got 6 heat. It's as a group we decide what's an appropriate level of heat. So the first thing is there are 4 levels we could get. 0 heat, it was smooth, quiet, low exposure. 2 heat, it was contained, standard exposure. 4 heat, it was loud, chaotic, high exposure. And then 6 heat, it was wild, devastating exposure. I've only ever given that to people who blew up a train bridge. And actually I think they got something like 12 because they killed a lot of people as well. The other thing is in Duskfall, murder is a big deal. In a city full of ghosts, it's very important that you're able to control where the ghosts are coming from. And they have this system called the Death Seeker Crows. And anytime someone dies, one of these crows through an ancient ritual is sent up and it locates the body so the spirit wardens can come in and dissolve the body in electroplasm so that there's no ghosts come from the body. So anytime death is involved at all in a score, the heat goes through the roof because these guys are now looking. Thankfully, Leon didn't die, and the guy got shot in the arm because it wasn't that big a consequence. But it was close, Simon. It was close. So I would say probably this was a contained standard exposure.
Yeah, I think so.
It was great. So 2 heat. So if I have our little gang chart here, which I'll tick 2 heat on.
I also think, well, would we get an additional heat for the Devil's Bargain that they will remember us or remember?
Yeah, that's our main problem here, isn't it? Is that we are going to be remembered.
Yes,
you'll be remembered. Yes. Nobody saw me.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and yeah, Sid, I think possibly.
Yeah. I'll be remembered in her conscience about her association with the working class. Yeah.
Do you think that the fist fight with the San Salvinos was possibly problematic? But I think it was well handled, and it seems like it's well rehearsed at this stage as the gang goes.
Yeah, there were no knives used, so.
Well,
I think if I met the Sansavinos and they got the upper hand on me, then they would just beat me up, and then that would be that. So.
So I'm not going to award heat for that. You have made off with 10 coin, which frankly is too much. Or 9 coin for a first score, but I figured as a one shot, let's just go for it. It means you can buy ridiculous things, you can spend it on your vice. The maximum your gang can hold at the moment is 4. So 4 your gang has stored in your hideout, which means we have 5 left, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 characters. So someone gets 2, and everyone else gets 1.
Well, Lois can have 1 as well.
Yes, perfect. We'll give Lewis a coin in case we ever pick this up again.
And I hope we do, because this is a fun crew.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool.
The sizes of houses of cards I can make with this kind of money.
You get this. Oh, my foster sister has these. Someone gave her like a deck of cards, and they're like A4 in size. And I came in the other day, and they were playing Crazy Eights with that.
That's awesome. Okay,
It's exceptional.
Oh, we got the carriage as well.
Yes, you do have the carriage, the three-wheel carriage. And Moscow may be expecting that back, but
I will say that once we get back to the hideout, Dagger would jot down a quick note to Bazo, say, "No, we're not supposed to. Won't be around for a while, but I've got something that you should know." And just
perfect. Yeah,
maybe we could sell him the fact that they know his address.
So this is good, and this actually talks about rep, which I can never remember what page it's on.
They gave us 4 days to do the job in, and we did it in 1. So there's that as well.
Day.
Yeah. Hey, Dagger, don't put my name on there. Just
that's cool. I won't, Sid. I won't. Yeah. Don't worry. I saw the way he looked at you. I'd hate for him to actually remember who you are.
Yeah, no, it's probably not for the best.
Oh, Sydney, you plonker.
I didn't know. I didn't know that you weren't, supposed to put that in a smelter. How was I supposed to know?
What is your beef with Bazo?
I initially had something done, but I actually like the smell. I like the idea that that Sid is a little bit more sincere about the whole worker solidarity thing. And I don't know how on the level Bazo is, so maybe either it was a disagreement on how workers should be treated, or along those lines.
It was a Judean People's Front, the People's Front of Judea thing.
Yeah.
He's like, we are organized. I've organized them. Lads, aren't we organized? And they're like, yeah, we're organized,
Yeah, but it's but how many breaks do they get? Well,
yeah. Well, we run as an anarcho-syndicalist commune. I'm just ahead for this week.
Well, you got me beat there. That is what I'm going for as well. I'm just pissed I didn't think of it, basically.
Yeah, so you get 2 rep for the score as as standard. You get an additional rep because everyone you dealt with was a tier higher than you. And I'm going to give you another rep because not only that, you have given important information to Bazo about who may be coming for him and why they might be coming for him. That's 4 rep. Not bad at all for a starting score.
Oh, not bad.
We have a level of 2 heat, which is where we do our our downtime reprisals roll. So nothing goes. Duskfall is a really small city, and everything's on top of each other. And anything you do affects someone in another way. Every advantage your gang gets costs another gang something. So we only have 0 to 3 heat. That's the level we're at. So we make a roll on a 1d6. Who would like to roll the dice?
I'll roll it. A 3.
A 3. So on a 3, we have gang trouble or the usual suspect. So gang trouble or the usual suspect is essentially someone in your group has caused a little bit of trouble, and you can lose a bit of rep over this, or you can make an example of someone in the gang. So it's someone kind of associated with your gang, maybe one of your dealers. I don't think that that's necessarily the best one for this. So I'm going to look at the usual suspects, which is you guys are known to the Blue Coats. You've been wheeling and dealing for a long time. So on your way back from the score, and you're wheeling this 3-wheeled cart that's riding really funny now that it doesn't have the weight of the rifles. As you come out, there's 2 Blue Coat leaders, officers are coming down Coleridge Lane. They're like, "Oh, hello, Leon. We heard you owe a lot of people for a window."
Oh yeah. I'm assuming I haven't got any coin on me.
No, you've the 9. Currently, it's on Delano. You have 9 coin on Delano, which is maybe too much to have in this situation.
I'll just put my hand out just so he can pass me a coin or something to get me out of this situation.
And when you think about it, a coin is a small, strong box full of money. So
yeah,
it's not like a
coin. It's
coin is their
it's an abstraction
term for They use slugs, I think is the name of the currency.
Yeah.
But like a coin is a score that's worth like a good purse would be a coin.
I like that image though. It's just like, so have you been doing some crimes? And then you just go, well, like a gold bar and hand it to them. And it's like, what do you think? We think you've stolen something. Oh, fuck, shit.
Yeah, so
Now,
like,
officer, I'm afraid Leon has been falsely accused by ruffians intent on besmirching his good name. We are, in fact, on our way to that very taverna to offer our condolences and to offer, out of the kindness of our hearts, to pay for that window.
Oh, well, Delano, we can save you the footwork. Barman reckons it's going to be about 2 coin. It's a bespoke stained glass window, as far as he's concerned.
Now, officer, I think you and I both know that there was nothing bespoke about that window, and the only stains on it were from beer and it not being washed in the last 12 years.
Stained glass is stained glass, mate.
I
I
reckon.
can have it this way.
How big are the blue coats?
Good question. They're kind of brawlers. That's what they do. They go around and throw their weight around.
Not to mention they're like tier 3 or tier 4, so
Yeah,
you
they'd
can
be a similar
almost do
build to
nothing
you.
against them. Yeah.
How about in lieu of that, instead of that, to save us all the footwork and the legwork and the running around, we maybe give you the 1 coin that it would actually take to fix the window, and then the disbursement of said coin is at your discretion.
Well, look at the sound of that. You know, of course, there'll be ale money in it for us.
Well, and then
How
the
about this?
Sansavinos can maybe foot up their share of the bill for the window.
Well, he said nothing about no Sansavinos. But how about this? We'll take the 1 coin. And Byron here will take a swing at Leon. That's it.
Go on then. Give it your best shot.
Oi,
I'll
Leon,
watch you
Leon,
stop.
right hand side, son. Remember your left hand side.
Yeah, so we'll see how well he does.
I was gonna say, I like the idea that the blue coats are actually quite short. They're like my height, but that's what makes them intimidating. They're just like really broad.
Yeah. So he succeeds. He feints that he's going to hit you in the face, and he sucker punches you in the gut. And on your character sheet, you can record level 1 harm. It's got 2 little boxes.
Okay.
Let me see. Simon, level 1 harm, and gut punch. Until you fill up both of those boxes, it has no real effect. So by the time you're on the next heist, it won't really matter. I just wanted to explain how harm works. So like, all right, Leon, always a team player. Hey, do yourself a favour. Stop throwing people out windows. That's what doors are for. And off they go down the street. Not in the direction of the tavern.
No, funny that.
Okay.
Well, there goes
And
my
so
1
that-
coin.
Yeah, so that's your reprisal. Now, it's fun. The higher the heat you get from the score, the worse the reprisals get. To the point that someone can be sent to Ironhook Prison.
Yep.
And that becomes its own kind of mini game. There's gang warfare in the prison itself. It's actually one of my favorite parts is having someone that is doing time. But yes, or you can upset someone and their ghost will come after you. All of these things are it's. So now we get on to the fun part. You have 2 downtime actions, and you can do lots of things. We'll go through them all. But one of the things that I recommend Simon does straight away is try to reduce his stress.
Yeah.
So that will involve indulging your vice. Simon, would you like to remind us what your vice is?
So my vice is celebrity gossip.
Great. And how do you go about indulging this vice?
So basically, I've got a couple of little books of like autographs, and so I go into the pub and I get a little bit drunk and I kind of start to tell people about the celebrities, that I've seen, and I had to get beaten up by this bloke so I could get close to him, so he'd sign my book. You know what I mean? He gave me I lost this too. So
I love the idea of you going out and buying Greetings magazine.
yeah, and
Brilliant. Yeah. So how this works is, I think you actually have it on the character sheet. Let me check.
Yeah, there's an indulge vice button.
indulge vice.
Love these character sheets. Yeah, indulge vice. Now you can overindulge, but I don't think you can at the moment because
No.
it's on a D6. So if you overindulge, it means you clear more stress than you needed. You get to choose what your character does, and it's things like you attract trouble to the gang, you brag too much and you get additional heat, or you just go missing. One of my it's great for when you have someone who can't make the next session. You're like, whoa, hit the whiskey a little hard there.
I love the concept that, you know how like reporters talk about, yeah, when I tried to get this article, I got punched. The Simon's character expects that, like, oh, come on, punch me, just do something. Come on.
Wouldn't do us a favor, would you?
Yeah.
So you can indulge your vice.
Oi, are you Britney Spears'
nice
bodyguard? Can you
So
punch
the next
me for
score,
an
you can clear
autograph?
5 stress off.
5 stress, wicked.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Now you have a second downtime action, and let me just get to the downtime summary, and I'm going to go through what you have. These are all, if any of them sound good to you, you can acquire an asset. You can go out and shop for something. Perhaps you want something unusual for your next score, a 4th wheel for your cart, anything along those lines. You can begin a long-term project. So let's say Lewis wants to develop a new potion. He begins a long-term project. You can recover if you're ill. On a level 1 harm, I tend to just let you say that you've rested over the week, so you're fine. You can reduce heat for your gang. If you have a lot of heat, you can go around saying, it wasn't us that done it, it was the Sansavinos. And the other thing is you can train. You can up a skill by training.
Ours is, for our crew, that would be resolve.
Yeah.
So we've got, what, 2 actions spread amongst the 5 of us?
Yep, 2 actions each.
Oh, 2 actions each.
And we'll go through them all. Everyone will get the 2 actions.
And
so Simon, I'll come
is
back
there
to
a
you while you
separate
choose.
gang action, or is that lumped in with our 2 actions?
When you say gang action,
So does the gang as a collective have an action? Like, I noticed there's this map
No.
on there with all the stuff, like the caches and the turf and the graft and all.
Oh,
of that.
that's a different part of the game. That's
okay.
when you try to
So
expand your turf. It's
can
like
one
we
of
could
us-
instead we could have a score to go into one of these areas and take over some turf. That would be the score. And then once we get the turf, we get the benefit of having that.
and remember, in Duskfall, everything belongs to someone. So
Yeah.
anything you take has to come from someone else.
Can our skills go above 2?
Not right yet.
So
I know from starting, yes, they can. Now training goes into, you see the resolve track? There's like
Yeah.
little ticks. It goes into
Yeah.
there, and when you fill it up, you can put a pip into something in that.
So basically, resolve. So I can only put pips in resolve, or
Yes,
Resolve.
for
That's-
training.
That's what your gang can do, yeah.
right. That
But
tells me.
if you completed any desperate actions over the course, you will tick what they were in, and you can get XP that way in those.
And you also
And
get XP based on whether or not you did something that met the criteria of your class, like snuck
Yeah.
around. So I get at least 1 XP. for
We'll
that.
do XP at the very end of downtime because you can actually earn XP during downtime, and we'll just do it as it's kind of like a short questionnaire. It's really nice. So who knows what else they'd like to do on their downtime?
I think Dagger's definitely going to head over to Lady Dusk's and the Dusk Manor Club and try to participate in one of these gambling hunts to relieve some stress. So I mean, it's basically it's a parkour situation. He actually volunteers to be the dead guy that's on the run, so that he's being chased, just so he can feel the wind through his hair and dive off buildings and do the things that he loves to do.
Great. Sounds like indulging your vice. We'll see how it goes for you.
Three.
So 3. So you can remove 3 stress.
Oh crap! I
How many are you on, Aaron?
I was on 6. Hold on, I dropped out here for some reason.
So you have 3 remaining. That's no problem.
Yeah, I will. That's not too bad. That's risky to do it again. So, for my second downtime activity, he's just going to train. He's going to work on. He's starting to realize that this crew that he's with now is really focused on the subtle plans, and that's not his wheelhouse. So he's going to spend some time with Sid, picking Sid's brain and asking him, okay, well, how do you approach people? How do you talk to them to get them to do what you want without having to break into their house and steal something. So he's gonna try to leverage his relationship with Sid and with Dell to learn the subtle art of the con. So he's going to second downtime activity is train for 1 resolve.
Perfect. That sounds great. So there's your 2. We'll go to Ben. What would Delano be doing for their downtime?
I think I've actually picked up 5 stress as well, so I'm going to indulge my vice. My vice.
What is your vice?
Dubious trading. So it's gambling, but it's buying stuff that seems like a good idea at the time that may or may not actually be a good idea. So sometimes I take a horrible loss on it, sometimes I take a win on it. But that's the gamble. It's shitty purchasing decisions.
Waffle iron shoes, you know. If you're hungry, you can
Maybe not that,
there.
but it would be like 200 waffle irons imported from the horse tribes or something.
Yeah. Well, I've got a lovely deal for you, Delano. It's an eel extruder. I've got 400 of them.
Exactly that kind of thing, yes.
You put eels in, and eels come out the other end. 3. Yeah, so 3. You can move 3 stress.
3, so I should
It went
remove-
well. Yeah, you broke even.
There we go, 3 stress removed. Oh, I love it. And now I have some eel extruders. And I think I too will train a bit of resolve because
That was a good move.
convincing people to do stuff in the sway seems like something I need to be working on a little bit more.
Nye, I realise you're about to disappear because your battery's going.
Yes.
Would you like to try and get in 1 downtime activity? I know your vice was building card towers.
Yeah, but did I take any stress? I don't know.
I don't think you took a single
No.
point. You had a great time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I just got to chill.
So you don't need to. You actually shouldn't indulge your vice because you would immediately overindulge no matter what you do. You can go out and buy things for yourself,
Ooh.
Or you could train twice and get
or
2
train
experience.
twice and get 2
I'll,
experience.
I'll train twice. I like the concept that while Dagger is picking Sid's brain, Sid is picking Dagger's feet to work out how to be quieter.
Great. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
So how does training work? Do I just
So
Put,
I'm not
one of
sure-
the top lines in the thing you're training in, so what you
So
Oh,
have to
prowl-
resolve.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be
Well-
resolved, does it?
Has to be resolved.
Right,
for
there you
our
go.
game.
So you have to put a point in resolve.
Coolio.
But I guess
that's
your
like
way of
a
learning to be
gang
stealthy
thing.
is like consort or sway, and it's like you ain't seen me. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. His. I like the idea.
Nosferatu, right?
I belong
Yeah.
here, darling. I belong
I
wherever
do-
I am.
I do like the idea that's like, how do you convince people? Oh, I usually just open my mouth and they tend to like give me what I want.
Excellent.
Whatever. Yeah.
I just keep going until what I want happens.
Yeah.
And
So
then Simon, do you have a downtime activity left?
I was going to train.
Perfect.
'Cause,
Perfect.
Yeah, he's a labourer. He's not really into buying things, to be honest. And really, I feel like I've given my money away. My the money I had is gone. Because
Went through a window.
I threw the Sanserino out the window. So,
Let me just look at our experience. That's great. So downtime went pretty smooth, a very smooth heist. But that's always a nice one to start with. And I'll just get to our experience questions. It's a really nice book, I have to say. Of all the RPG books, it's small.
And it's a convenient size.
Yeah,
I love
and it
it.
has a slightly sticky cover. I don't know. I have the older version, which everyone is always like, enjoy the slightly sticky cover.
No, not sticky for me.
Or maybe I just really enjoy the game.
Ew.
Right, so page 48. And we have experience points. Yes.
Sorry, just to go over training again. I only put 1 in resolve.
Yes.
But you trained twice, so you put in 2.
Okay, I thought that. I was just double checking. Okay, I have 2 now.
So if you have a look at your character sheet,
Yeah.
you will see where your experience triggers.
Mark
You'll see
Mhm.
down under your special abilities, you have a mark XP area.
Yeah.
And you get to put an XP in there anytime you've ticked one of those.
Right.
So you will have, every time you roll a desperate action, mark XP in that action's attribute. So if you roll the desperate action, put it in there. You addressed
my desperate hunt roll.
You did 2 desperate rolls, I think.
I did actually. What was the other one? It would have been a resolve one.
Shot
wouldn't it?
me.
That was the hunt roll.
That was the hunt one. Yeah.
I think I did a desperate sway.
Yeah. Desperate sway.
I think so. Yeah, it was. Oh, it was with the trying to get him to pick the right.
Oh yeah, that was right.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you 2. So you get 1 in each of those. Then the other one is you'll have a playbook specific trigger for you. So if you look there, if you're a lurk, it will be if you use stealth. So Aaron, you definitely hit that. I would even go so far as to say you get 2 experience for that because you did a really good job of that.
Thank you.
Or if you're a spider, I'm not certain off the top of my head what your playbook specific trigger is, but it's in the character sheet. Simon, sorry. I'll just go to Simon. Simon, you definitely get 2 experience points for addressing challenges with violence. I think that was the main way you addressed challenges.
Yeah.
And then Nye, what's yours?
I think I get advice as well.
I think you're muted, Nye.
Oh no, I was just waiting for sound to finish. I think mine says you address the challenge with deception or influence. I think that's my.
Absolutely. That entire scene upstairs with
Okay.
Lyra was exactly that. And yes, you get 1 for dealing with your vice in the session, which we did see from Leon, who was going around collecting signatures and equally struggling not to ask for a signature when dealing with one of the higher ups from the Red Sash. It's one of my all-time favorite moments of this. And we'll have a look at the final step is you expressed your drives, beliefs, or heritage. I think Nye definitely gets 1 for that. And you just put that into your playbook advancement. And you struggled with issues from your vice or trauma, so we have that one. Did anyone else feel they struggle with any issues from their vice or trauma?
No. I think I get the 1 for addressing a challenge with calculation or conspiracy.
Absolutely. I in fact will give you 2 experience for that because it was all down to the fact you had an exploding apple on someone's head. I think
I don't know whether
true.
I get the 1 for expressing beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I mean, my background is that I'm a dubious trader, and that was a fairly dubious trade.
I do think so. I think there's 1 going for that purely because your drive is to make coin by buying low, selling high.
Yeah.
Which you did. So yeah, there's definitely a going for that. Does anyone any other things they want to volunteer or ask questions about in that? And that's essentially it. That's us prepped for our next heist. Generally what I do is I give you a newsletter for what happened in town that week, and you can basically browse the broadsheet and go, oh, that looks like a bit of shopping. Or if you have an idea of something you would like to get up to as a crew, we can arrange that. Now, this wasn't one shot. I had such a great time. I'd like to thank all the players for making this as entertaining as it was. And I hope everyone watching has a very Merry Christmas.
No, 10 out of 10. Would play again.
Definitely.
And if anybody feels like joining us afterwards to lift a glass, we're having a little bit of a garblag party in the Hobbit's armpit in a couple of minutes over on our Discord, which I'm putting the link for there. Kapow. So if you want to come and join us for a quick beverage, maybe a penis colada, head on over to the Discord after we're done here and pop into the Hobbit's armpit, which is one of our voice chat rooms, and we might see you there. Otherwise, thank you very much, Josh. That was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. I knew I would enjoy the game, and having someone with your proficiency in it run it so smoothly, and the voices. The voices. So thank you so much.
The running joke in our other campaigns is Duskwall, the city where everyone slowly becomes Scottish because I forget what accent I gave them and they all end up just sounding like Bazo.
That was great. So I believe we may have something coming up next week. I don't know. Aaron, is there a North America tonight?
There is not a North America tonight. No.
There you go. The entire continent has been erased this evening.
We're done. We're shutting the borders and we're taking a nap.
Yeah. So there's no North America tonight. Obviously, there's not going to be anything over the next couple of days because it is the festive season of Giftmas. I believe the next thing we've got officially lined up is potentially a little bit of Monster of the Week on the 28th. 8th. So maybe come along and join us there. Have your people call my people. We'll send an MP3 of some people having lunch with some people. Thank you very much, and good night.
Night.
Cheers.